Hello and welcome to the second episode of Recreation. This time we have another European Hardcore Tour qualifier. We have Jaca here with me tonight. Welcome and thank you so much for accepting my invitation.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
So I would like to divide this basically in three sections. So basically a small introduction, then some rapid questions, which like you have to go for a quick answer, the first thing that comes into your mind, and then something more in depth where you can elaborate and talk as much as you want, pretty much. Right. So of course your nickname is Jaca. How old are you actually?
I am 27, turning 28 this year in July.
Damn, I think you're as old as Nephros. Are you 98? I think 98 or 98.
I think, yeah, I am 98. I think I'm a little bit older than Nephros.
Okay.
Which also came true as a surprise for me.
Alright, damn. Country, of course. You're from Brazil?
Yeah, I lived most of my life in Brazil, a little bit in the United States as a kid, and now in Europe for the most part.
Okay, so were you born in Brazil or...
I was born in Brazil, yes.
Nice. And how long have you been active in Under Night?
I started playing Under Night when COVID hit, so beginning of 2020, and have been more or less active since then, yeah.
Did you always start with Batista? Because I do know that she was your main, but... Or was there another character which you...
So when I started playing the game, it was Under Night is my first fighting game, really, that I picked up to learn. And my first character I remember picking was actually Wagner. I played her for like a week, and then I played Lene for a few months, and I got decent with Lene. And then I remember my DS4 broke, and then I got a hitbox, and then I thought, okay, might as well learn a new character, so I picked up Batista, and that's who I played for pretty much all of Uniclear. At the end of Uniclear, I picked up Orie, just to play around, and I ended up liking the character quite a bit. And then when Uni 2 dropped, I went back to Batista just because that was the character I was strongest in, and I was preparing for EVO Japan. And I went to EVO Japan already knowing that was going to be my last tournament as a Batista player, and then I came back and pretty much stuck with Orie since.
Nice. So, was there a break after EVO Japan, or you just came back and was like, no, I'm gonna start with Orie and went off?
Yeah, no, I came back and just picked up Orie. I was very, in fact, excited to stop playing Batista. Even in Japan, I was excited to come back and play a different character, to be honest. So yeah.
Alright. So, there was basically a small introduction about you. Now it's time for the quick fire questions, I want to call them. Right, so pretty much just say the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the question. Although maybe some may not be as straightforward as you can think. Your favorite Under Night song?
That's gonna be Hyde's theme, I think. I think it's very, very Under Night for me. Something about it just is very nostalgic to me. I don't know how to explain it.
Okay. Your favorite matchup to play?
Honestly, maybe Batista. I really enjoy playing Batista. I think she's a super interactive character in neutral, and I think she's a fun character to play. I like playing Batista against her.
Your most hated?
That would probably have to be Akatsuki. Yeah, or Akatsuki Orie, I should say. Akatsuki Batista is perfectly fine for Batista, and it's fun to play.
Okay, so of course you're qualified to Hardcore Tour, and you have been to EVO Japan, but not EVO Vegas, I think.
Correct. Yes.
So if you had to choose between winning EVO or Hardcore Tour, which one would you choose?
Easily Art World Tour, because I'm pretty sure the monetary gains are superior.
Alright, so money apart, in terms of prestige.
I mean, yeah, in terms of prestige, I would say I would say Evo is. Yeah, I mean, Evo is more. Is a bigger tournament in general. Yeah, that would have to be my pick.
Makes sense. If you had to change something in Uni 2, whether it be mechanics or a buff or a nerf to a character, what would it be?
So just one thing?
Just one thing, I'm sorry.
I guess the most good that I can do with one change is reducing meter gain across the board. That's probably what I would pick. Yeah.
Amazing choice. Okay. Your top 5 characters unordered, in any order, but the top 5, for example.
Top 5 in strength, you mean?
Like, imagine you're doing a tier list.
Yeah. Okay. Unordered, you said.
Yeah, so it can be just 5 characters and nobody can number it.
Yeah, so Lin and Yeltnam I think are easy picks. I want to say Carmine too, but maybe that's a little controversial these days. Londrekia and Wagner. Yeah, I think those are my 5 in some order. Yeah.
I defend Orie now. Why did you put Wagner in the crossfire like this?
I gotta be true to myself.
No, like it's quite unfortunate that there isn't a lot of Wagner representation. I think if there was more Wagner representation, maybe I would let Wagner top 5 slide.
So wait, so you don't think there's enough Wagner representation? Because I feel like this character is way overrepresented in like North American top 8s. There's always like Mario and sometimes Knots, Red Blade. I feel like your character is pretty good for top player representation personally, but yeah.
But like, Knots barely plays her anymore. Red Blade has a lot of mood swings, so Mario is very consistent to be fair. So okay, I guess I stand corrected. Alright, another question. So, Defiant or Big Black? Who is your favorite between the two?
Favorite?
If you have to choose. We're not making enemies.
In what sense? In what sense of the word? Like as like playstyle or?
I think in terms of playstyle, who do you like watching the most?
Ooh, I think then I would have to go on Big Black. Only because I feel like me and Defiant are very similar in some regards, and the Big Black I think is a more mysterious player to me. So I think it's interesting to just watch him play, I guess.
Fair enough. Okay. Of course, like 2 very different players. Defiant definitely prioritizes offense, and Big Black prioritizes defense. So it's pretty much a very exciting clash of styles every time they play against each other as well. Okay, so a controversial question maybe. The best food in Brazil or in Europe?
I mean, that's tough because Europe, if you don't count Italy, then I think it's Brazil easily.
Oh.
But with Italy, things get complicated. But since I haven't been to Italy yet, I will say Brazil.
Okay, fair enough.
Only because I suspect that São Paulo has better pizza than Italy. In fact, I suspect that this is the case. I can't prove this 100%, so maybe I'm going to Naples next week, and the fatherland of pizza. I'll have some good pizza presumably, and then I'll be able to say with certainty. But for now, I'm gonna have to say Brazil. Yeah.
Okay. In that case, we'll edit the video later. Unfortunately, I had one takeout pizza in Italy, and it was one of the worst pizzas I've ever had. It was in Naples as well. So I think it was the restaurant which was not good. So I'll try to go sometime in the future again. There was a very famous restaurant which had like a 3-hour queue, which I couldn't be arsed waiting for. Next time I'll try to wait those 3 hours, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm sure there's like shitty pizza places even in Italy.
Yep.
So it's hard to say. But you're actually not the first person that I've talked to who has had bad pizza in Italy. So yeah, we'll see.
Okay. So those were basically the fast questions, and now we're going for some more in-depth answers. Of course, if you want to reply in just a few words, it's your choice as well. So, first
Mhm.
question is, why do you play Under Night?
Good question. I consider myself a competitive person in general, and I like problem solving. So usually most of the activities that I do for leisure involves like using my brain to like solve problems, and I think fighting games are a good vessel for that. And I think why I play Under Night and not other fighting games and it's just because I think Under Night is the best modern fighting game, the one I have most fun with, I guess.
I can definitely see that a lot. Um, okay, so you have. We also discussed this today. You switched from Batista to Orie in that
Hmm.
Evo Japan period. What was the main reason you decided to switch?
The main reason is that Batista is a character that requires a lot of mechanical execution to be good at. And this is something that you kind of have to always maintain. And if you stop practicing for a bit, as I do sometimes, I'll just stop playing the game for a few months because I'm busy with other things in life. And then you come back and it just feels extra bad when the character feels so much worse just because of execution. So this frustrated me greatly with Batista. And in this regard, I think Orie, while I think Orie also is a difficult character to play, she is difficult in a more interesting way, I would say, than Batista, and that's why I made the switch. Yeah, it has nothing to do with like character strength. I think they're both fine characters. Uh, I just yeah, I guess I was just having more fun with Orie, uh,
I mean,
certainly in Unity 2.
it's not a secret. The mechanical skill required to pilot Batista is probably
Yeah, a bunch of like Bejewel setups, laser partitions, ball partitions, triple ball, etc. It can get kind of annoying knowing that like if you stop playing the game for a bit and you come back and you have to like regrind all of that, or else you're not really like playing the character to the full potential. And I think that just frustrates me. I guess.
yeah. No, it's definitely a very valid reason. So. As you said, like both characters have their complexities. Probably Orie is more in terms of gameplay rather than execution, and Batista is more execution and gameplay. So it's a double-edged sword, if you will.
Hmm.
Do you wish you invested more time in Batista recently? Like, of course, our quarter finals is coming up. There's been quite plenty of tournaments recently in Europe as well, like with Outplayed and UFA, VSF, and like, do you wish you had a secondary Batista, or you're happy just maining Orie?
I'm happy maining Ori, and if I had a bunch of time to like grind the game, and I wanted to pick a secondary character for Arc World Tour or other tournaments, it probably would not be Batista. I would probably just pick another character to learn and have fun with, which I still think is strong and covers some of Ori's bad matchups.
Okay. And is there someone in mind, or
Yeah, I was
okay,
debating maybe learning a different character after Arc World Tour, and I was stuck between Nanase and Yuzu. Those are
Jaca
where I
Yuzu?
was thinking, but yeah, it's not. It's entirely possible that I will do neither. Also,
That's also very fair. Okay, of course, you come from Brazil. In terms of the Undernight landscape, like the power regions of Uni, where would you place the South American scene in general?
I will place it after the United States and Japan. I would place South America. Yeah, in terms of strength.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a bunch of strong players, and I think even in Uni 2, I think the scene has gotten significantly stronger. Not only Brazil, but also Chile has a strong showing even in international tournaments. It's a little bit of a shame that it's so hard for Brazilian players to travel and compete outside of Brazil, but yeah, unfortunately, it is what it is.
Yeah,
I
that's
have to do my best to represent the region. Yeah.
And who do you think is actually the strongest player in first in Brazil?
Hmm. So, I mean, the person who won the recent tournament, the biggest tournament in Brazil for Under 9 is Akaza, who is certainly a top contender. Along with him, I would place Klasfir, Gigos, Gizdin. But honestly, unfortunately, I have to say this: the strongest player in Brazil is maybe a player that is not very well known outside of Brazil. He's called Rankino. The reason he's not well known is because he doesn't really enter tournaments these days. But essentially, when he comes back to the game, he beats the shit out of everyone. It's kind of impressive. Yeah, he's an old Lineage player who turned a Seth player at the end of Uniclear and maintains Seth. Well, he's not playing. He's not active currently, to my knowledge, but he did come back a little bit. I think at the end of last year and dominated the scene for a bit. I think like in terms of me trying to objectively measure player skill from the people I played, I think Hankino will probably take it. Yeah.
Okay, very interesting actually. And who would you still think he's the best player in South America in general, or would there be someone like in from Chile, as you said, who
I
is stronger?
think I think Hankino will probably be the best player in South America, at least when he's active. Other than that, it would probably be either Akaza, ClassFit, or Yuno, depending on who is active at any given point. Since, yeah,
Kaza is probably one of the most active players I think right now. Even pops up in the Discord as well. So
yeah, he's been grinding the game quite a bit since release, very consistently. So Akaza, I mean, he played a little bit of Uniclear at the beginning of the game, but he was mainly a BB tag player. He didn't play much Uni, and then he really decided to focus on Uni in Uni 2, and he improved tremendously in the game to now be like a top player in the scene.
okay,
Very impressive.
of course as well with a really strong character like Londrek, yeah, definitely
Mhm.
can help making your impact in the game, and of course like all the names you said definitely would be really sick to see them travel in maybe Europe or America. I also noticed you didn't mention Nox. Did you forget him, or because Nox is the name that probably
uh,
travels the most?
yeah. So Nox, along with me, is the only Brazilian. Well, Classic went to Japan. So me, Classic, and Nox are the only Brazilians who have competed outside of Brazil. But I mean, Nox, I don't think he's very active at the moment. But I don't know that I would put him in the same league as the Classic, Akaza, and Yuno in South America. But he is a very strong player, also. Yes. There's a bunch of strong players I didn't mention, like Ferovsky as well, and other players who also don't participate. Or Axu also. Axu won a big tournament in São Paulo last year. Hilda player, Mika player. I don't know how active he is currently, but he's also very strong. Yeah, there's a bunch of strong people. But yeah, narrowing it down can be a little difficult.
I can imagine. Yeah. Speaking of Ferovsky, by the way, he made this overlay. So in one day,
Yeah,
like
he's
he's
an
cracked.
insane graphic designer. Actually thinking of commissioning him for an overlay myself at some point.
It's yeah,
Yeah,
I
hit
can
up
definitely
Pedofsky for
recommend.
all things graphic design.
Um, okay, um, so what was the reason that we actually came to Europe, and specifically you live in Czech Republic, right?
Yes, correct.
Um,
I'm
so
currently doing my PhD here. That's the reason I came to Europe. Yeah, pretty much.
so how come you chose Europe though? Because I feel that it would have been there's like in terms of PhD, I guess there were several options, uh, mostly in Europe and in Americas as well. So what led you to come to Prague?
Mm, well, I think it's two reasons mainly. So I wanted to do my PhD abroad, while I was doing my master's. I wasn't really too sure where, so I was considering places in the United States, places in Canada, and places in Europe. Since I had already lived in North America, I wasn't really too interested in going back, and I felt like Europe would be nice. And I also have uh, an Italian citizenship, so it was going to be easier in terms of visas. I didn't have to worry about like getting like a student visa and getting headaches with immigration, as long as I picked a country in the EU. And then, yeah, in Europe, there's a bunch of places I was considering: France, Germany, Italy, Czech Republic, Norway, Spain, Portugal. And yeah, I mean, and then after that, it's just seeing like what the groups are working and what research they're interested in and what I'm interested in and what places have reasonable financial support to give. And yeah, I think among all those places, I just chose Prague. It seemed like an interesting city and a pleasant place in general. There's some good mathematicians here doing interesting work, and that's why I came here.
So you're actually this really tells me how much you like to calculate and see all your options before just choosing something. Like it's kind of like you're the opposite of me because I try to minimize as much the decisions that I have to take and just choose one and go with it. So it's actually really interesting from that point of view how much you you put your options on the table and then choose the smartest one based on so many criterias. So that's
Hmm.
actually really interesting. Um, so now you've been in Europe for I think a year, more than
Yeah, a year and a half. I got
year and a half.
here. I got here during UFA 2024.
Yes.
That was my first time in Europe. Was landing in Paris and going to UFA, and then I took a train to Prague
Bam.
also. So yeah, that was September 2024. So a year and a half.
So how did you experience like a culture shock when you moved to Europe, or do you feel that Europe and Brazil are quite similar in terms of everyday life, kind of?
Uh, I mean, it's hard to say because I think it depends greatly where you are in Europe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
But nonetheless, I didn't really experience a culture shock only because I had been to places outside of Brazil beforehand. But yeah, Brazil is a kind of a very unique place with a very unique culture, and the people are very warm and festive. And in Europe, it kind of depends where you are, but I would say people tend to be a little colder and more reserved. But I'm also kind of a reserved person myself, so this doesn't bother me too much. But I know that there are places in Europe, like Italy and maybe Spain, that are also like maybe have that I don't know, Latin influence that makes them a little crazy in a good way.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Like when there's Italian tourists, you spot them out immediately because of how loud they are and how vocal they are as well. So
Yeah, all the Italians I've met have been uh, very warm people in general. So that's the impression I get.
so far, like a lot of the Italians in the FGC are really friendly. Like especially
Yeah.
for example this outplay I hung out a lot with Simon M and People Hold, and it was really chill. So
Hmm.
it was really fun. Okay, so moving a little bit away from Brazil and back to Undernight. So if you could have a set, a first to 10, for example, with anyone in any period, so like
Mm.
Clear Lamp at his best, like Red Blade in 2019, uh, like, I don't know, who would it be and why would you choose them?
Ooh, good question. Uh, I feel like I would choose. I would have to choose. I think Hishigata at his peak.
Okay.
So I don't really know when his peak was. I guess maybe in Unis, maybe Uniclear. Hishigata is a player that I respect deeply from what I've seen of him playing throughout the years. He's like one of my goats, I guess. He still plays, of course. I don't know how active he is anymore, but I would have to say like peak Hishigata Nanase would be my choice, I think.
Okay, that's very interesting to hear. The next question would be one player you look up to, but I guess you already answered that question.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Well, there are
change it
several
up.
players I look up to, sure, but yeah.
So one Orie player you look up to then.
That would have to be Nishine, I think,
Okay.
the Orie GOAT. There's a lot to learn from a lot of different Orie players, but I think the one who is the best Orie is Nishine, I would say, yeah.
That's very interesting. There are, or there were at least, quite a number of Japanese Orie players, which, since the Orie allegations began, like they kind of disappeared, unfortunately. I think, no, I think Nishine had won KGP last year. Uh,
Yeah, Nishine won KGP. Ryu played Climax this year, and he's kind of on a break.
okay.
But I think he usually takes breaks. I don't know if this one is longer than usual. And I think Gutsu Gutsu has stopped playing, but I'm not too sure about that.
That's unfortunate. Gotsu was not the last climax, but the one before it, I think, with the
Yeah.
fundraiser with that took also Kaji, if I'm not mistaken. So,
Hmm.
okay, a little bit unfortunate. But, okay, so, of course, as we said, our court tour is in less than a month, the finals. Is there a player that you want to play at finals, like in tournament setting?
Hmm. I mean, I guess the boring answer is I want to play any player at finals because that means I got to the finals. But if I had to pick a player to play at finals, I would have to pick probably Nefros, honestly. Only because he's the one I have by far the most experience with,
Okay.
and I think our sets are fun to watch. So I think it would make good content.
You were playing just yesterday. I unfortunately could not watch,
Yeah.
so it was a little bit unfortunate for me at least. But it's definitely always a treat, like winners finals and grand finals at UFA, where two very interesting sets, and I think we've improved a lot. Like you played the first 10, I think, against Defiant very early this month, and Defiant like before the stream or like a day or two before he was talking about how unsure he is of your skill level, I think, and then after he played in that first attempt he was like he's improved a lot, so that just speaks volumes of the improvement you've done in the past couple of months. So that makes it even more interesting to watch out for the Arcor Tour finals.
Yeah. I mean, for specifically against the set against Defiant, I think I have not played much against Defiant at all. I think the only other time, so I played him in like a first to five exhibition that Thiago was doing in Brazil. It was like Defiant versus Brazil, and then I was one of the selected players. And I think we had a first to five, which went decently well. The only other time I think I played Defiant was again in like Uni 2 beta, I think. And I played Batista against his Londrekia. So yeah, I mean, I don't know that I would say I improved much in the last since September, the last time I played him, just because I haven't played that much. But I think the way I play the game is I can really like spiral from doing poorly to doing really well depending on how if I have like the right feeling for my opponent. I guess I'm like a very vibes based player. And like Nephros is a good example. So I would always lose really badly to Nephros when I came here to Europe because I didn't play him that much and I didn't really have a feel for his style, I guess. But I've kind of more or less gotten to understand him a little bit better as a player, as well as gotten better in the lane matchup in general. So I think my results have improved quite a bit since then. But yeah, uh, for me, it's a little tough to judge how well I'm going to do against a particular player because it really depends. I would say.
And what position do you think you'll get at finals?
Hmm. I mean, I think I will definitely be the weakest player there. So maybe objectively speaking, seventh. But I think I am lucky, and I think I do pretty decently under pressure. So taking that into account, I'm going to say, I don't know, fourth. Why not?
Why not, indeed? Uh, Hopefully, even better. Maybe we have a European Grand Finals between Nefros and Jaca. Would be
I would
nice.
really like that. Yeah.
All right. I realized I skipped the question about Brazil, which I have to ask now,
Hmm.
uh, because I think it's quite important. So, three things you miss the most about Brazil.
Well, obviously my family and friends would have to be number one. My cats would have to be number two, and the food I would say has to be three. So
Okay. Damn.
yeah,
So, any excuse is a good one to go to Brazil.
yeah.
I mean, it there might be an Evo Brazil in the near future.
I'm
So
pretty sure it's confirmed already.
yeah,
So maybe I don't know if I should say that I also miss the beach because I haven't been to any European beaches, but I find it hard to imagine that they'll hold up to Brazilian standards. But we'll see. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Greece has some contenders. Who knows?
okay, fair enough. I mean, Malta has some nice beaches as well if you're interested. So and it's
I
quite
am
sunny
interested
Malta.
because I love the beach, and I'm quite far away right now. I'm in a landlocked country.
Yeah, I guess. The unfortunate sad part is there is no FGC in Malta. It's just Tekken. So
Gotta
yeah.
become a second player. I see.
No, no, please don't.
No.
Um. Okay. So all right. Um. Is there a favorite tournament you have been to? Like one tournament you
Uh,
cherish on top of all the others?
in terms of like the tournament that I felt like was the best organized and the most like if you all you care about is like going to this convention and playing a tournament, then I would say Combo Breaker. But I mean, for me, this is less interesting because Combo Breaker is like Chicago suburbs, and there's nothing to do in the suburbs of any American city. So I would say the tournament that I had the most fun in would probably be Evo Japan, just because you're like in the heart of Tokyo. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to beat Tokyo in many regards.
I can imagine. How long did you stay in Japan actually?
For quite a bit, we stayed there for 20 days, I think. So we went maybe a week before Evo Japan, and then we played Evo Japan, and then we took the train to Osaka, and there we played KGP, and then we came back. So 20 days.
Yeah,
It was quite a bit of fun.
I spaced. Right. And is there a favorite tournament set, a single set, which is your favorite?
Um, hmm. I think I would probably have to give it to Defiant versus Big Black at this last Evo.
Okay.
Another good one was Big Black against Knots in like one of the combo breakers for Unity 2. That was really good. I don't know. I have a hard time remembering like specific sets. There's probably other really great ones that I'm forgetting. But yeah, these two stick out. So I would have to go with one of those two. Also, there was some great sets in Stormy Night this year. Also, I think Big Black versus Obito was also really good set.
And what about sets you were involved in?
Hmm. Ooh. So, huh. Sets I was involved in. It's kind of way harder because I don't know. I don't have that many like big wins, I guess. And at like in majors. So almost definitely have to pick a loss or like a set in the middle of bracket, which feels kind of lame. Oh no, I guess maybe I'll go with my set against Nephros and UFA, just because that's the set I qualified in. I think I played okay in that set, but I just remember having a ton of fun playing that set.
Okay, I mean,
Just because I was like way more relaxed. I was stressed in winners finals, and I played really poorly. And then after I qualified and I played in grand finals, I was like super relaxed and just chilling. And I had a bunch of fun, yeah. So maybe I'll go down.
yeah, that's still very fair. Uh, Correct me if I'm wrong, though. I think you beat Senaro in Evo Japan, right?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
Okay. So,
And I intend to do the same if I face him at AWT.
yes, shots fired. Okay, Senaro, watch your back.
Oh, I mean, I'm like 2 for 2 for Evo champions in bracket in this game, so I intend to continue that if I face off against Defiant or Scenario.
So there's two Evo champions, of course, yes. So it would be quite interesting if you were to get to play against them. Okay, so I think that's almost everything. I just have one last question for you, and it will probably be the hardest one. I think.
Oh dear.
I hope so, at least. So, is Jaca EU or BR?
Yeah, Jaca is definitely VR, my fear.
Damn it!
I can't
You're fired.
I can't neglect my roots, unfortunately.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, it was also the talk at UFA when we changed your flag from Czech Republic to Brazil. I remember, like, I think I had Zata in my DMs asking me to change it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's because Start GG puts it automatically because my country is currently set in Czech Republic because that's where my address is. But yeah, I am definitely not a Czech person. I am Brazilian through and through.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. So
Much as, despite maybe some Brazilians wanting to disown me sometimes, I would say once Brazilian, always Brazilian.
yeah, there's definitely a lot of support for you. Like, I think, funnily enough, when you play in Wanted, there's if not bigger, but the Brazilians smack talking you, which are actually cheering for you, are just as much, if not more, than the Europeans cheering for the other Europeans. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So it's also really cool to see the close bond, I have to say, that there is between you and Brazil still, even if you left over a year ago.
Yeah, I would say I'm very close to the scene, the Brazilian scene in general, and I maintain contact all the time. So yeah.
Is there a Brazilian trip planned in the near future, or nothing yet?
I don't plan on going to Brazil this year just for financial reasons, but definitely 2027 I will go back in February, I want to say, just because there's a wedding I have to attend. So essentially that one is already confirmed. But yeah, provided that I am financially able, I intend to go back at least once a year,
Nice.
hopefully.
Very interesting. Okay, so that's basically all the questions I had. I don't know, maybe you want to add something? Maybe you want to say something? I don't know.
I don't know. Shout outs to Brazilian scene. We're very strong, and I hope we continue representing tournaments internationally. That's my hope.
For sure. Like, I think here's to hoping that Battle Coliseum gets an awkward tour spot. Now the climax is gone.
Yeah,
And
I
hopefully,
guess that's also like a slam dunk. I also hope that they bring, assuming we have another world tour for Uni, that they bring a tournament, a qualifying tournament to Brazil. I don't know. I was kind of really hoping for that last year, and I was disappointed. So I don't know if I dare to hope anymore because our system works tends to let me down quite a bit. But yeah, we'll see.
it's anyone's guess, honestly, for the qualifying tournaments. But yeah, that's it. I mean, I was going to ask you for shout outs, but you shouted to people already. So that will be it for this episode. Thank you so much, Jaca, for being with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We will stop the call right here. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.